welcome to another exciting episode of Broad Daylight with me, Priscilla Moore. Today on Broad Daylight, my guest is Dr. Salim Environmental. He's a general manager for Origo Dream Company Limited here in Ghana. He has extensive experience in environmental teaching, research capacity building activities. He has worked at Sultan Qaboos University in the Sultanate of Oman, the environmental biology department for 22 years. His special interests are related to environmental management issues, including environmental strategies, environmental assessment and monitoring, environmental conservation, pollution prevention, waste minimization, and global environmental changes. Today, we are going to talk about how to create a sustainable development here in Ghana. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for inviting me in your program. I'm very happy about that.
Oh, that's okay. You're looking amazing.
Thank you very much.
How is Ghana so far? How is Ghana treating you?
Yeah, I'm visiting Ghana and so far it's very good.
Interesting.
Very good.
Welcome to our studios once again.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay, sir. So as an environmental specialist, can you tell us the difference between development and sustainable development?
These two terms has been used for a long time now. Development actually is meant at the development of present generation.
Okay.
And mainly consider development of structures, infrastructures, development of housing, industries, and the quality of life of people. When you come to sustainable development, the term has been used now about 30 to 40 years. It meant to raise the quality of life of present generation,
okay,
but also consider the quality of life of future generations.
Great.
Yeah, and sustainable development is different from development that actually there's four elements, main elements.
Okay.
Society, economy, culture, and environment.
Great.
So this is sustainable development, and each of these elements has a many division and extend to many things like agriculture, industries, health, education. All this coming in these four elements.
Interesting. That's wonderful. Okay, so before we go into the details of that, you know that there are so many resources here in Ghana, specifically, or in Africa, that are not renewable. So how can the present generation assure that the availability of these resources for the future generation?
Yeah, this is a very good question. That we're talking about present generation,
okay,
and the quality of present generation, but how we can assure the quality of future generations. This needs some explanation. If you look at the resources, they are divided into two.
Okay.
As you said, there are many resources, for example, here in Ghana, resources which are known as renewable resources, and other resources are non-renewable resources.
Okay.
If you talk about renewable resources, this can be utilized now as well as in future, as long as you use them sustainably. Okay. For example, agriculture, okay, trees, fisheries, animals, and so on. In agriculture, in fisheries, and all these are renewable resources. Okay. And as long as they're able to regenerate, generation is there, so this can be utilized by future generation. So we have to assure these are renewable resources. We should not deplete them.
Okay.
If you cut trees, we make sure that we cut trees on the way that the environment can regenerate these trees, can bring back these trees. So we are giving them chance for growing. Okay. In forest or agriculture or in the ocean, fish, for example, we are giving them time, and we take those resources at limit that we do not, removing the cycle of okay, regeneration. Okay. So this is very important. But if you talk about non-renewable resources, the good example is oil, for example, okay, or minerals. Once you are taking them, it's very difficult to bring them back. It may take millions of years to bring back oil for the formation of oil. So in this case, what you do, you take these resources, you can utilize these resources, but you have to make good management of how you're utilizing these resources. For example, you take oil, you get your income, you get a lot of wealth from oil. It doesn't mean that we take this oil and we are using it for our wealth for this generation and we forget about future. And you can tell me how we can preserve oil, because the oil then is going depleted. What here is very important in sustainable development is we are utilizing this oil or these non-renewable resources for development of another resources, for example, energy. So we are utilizing these resources for creation of new renewable resources.
Okay.
Okay. In this case, we're using our technology. One of the main issue here is that we are taking consideration of human.
Okay.
So teaching human or utilizing this wealth for education of people.
Okay.
So the future generation should be able to generate another renewable resources out of it. Solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, whatever the new renewable resources. From these resources, the wealth of this is utilized for education, for technologies, for creation of new technologies. So future, maybe we don't have oil, but the wealth of that oil has been utilized for generation of other renewable resources. So this is what we're talking about, future generation.
Interesting.
Yeah, if we don't consider the future generation, so I mean, after 50 years, 30 years, what are they going to have if they don't have oil, they don't have wealth? So we have to consider both renewable and non-renewable resources for future generation.
Does it have anything to do with industrial ecology?
Yes, very good. That industrial ecology is one way of sustainable development. Is that the economy in industry? We're talking about ecology, and now we're talking about industrial ecology. Ecology, if you look at the forest, for example, everything is not wasted at all. Because there's plants, animal, microorganisms, environment, weather. So these all interact each other. And any tree fallen down will be utilized by animals, by microorganisms, and decay. So all nutrients, everything will be utilized in the environment. Everything in the environment, in the natural ecosystem, is not wasted at all. So the dumping of one animal is utilized by others. The waste of one animal is utilized by others. When animal died, other actually are utilizing the body. So nothing is wasted in ecology. So we try to mimic that environment in our industrial systems. In this way, that the waste of one industry, it can go to another industry.
Interesting.
Yeah. If someone has waste, the other people, they can utilize it. You can utilize it as material. For example, you are cutting wood, those pieces can be utilized by others. Can you be utilized as making energy, burning, for example, or creating energy? You can utilize by using material and so on. So you are creating industry that you minimize what is going out. Whatever is coming in, it has to be utilized fully. So this is, we try to mimic industrial ecology. So in this case, you are preserving our resources, for example, forest and nature resources, by taking less. At the same time, you are reducing waste to go out. Therefore, you are reducing pollution. You're reducing utilizing of the landfills, because all this pollution causing problem to the environment. And therefore, you are utilizing by mimicking the industrial ecology to make industrial ecology. So this is the new thinking of the development, which is sustainable development.
Great, I see. So you've traveled all over the world. You've made so many publications on environmental issues, and I want you to get us, or we want to know your take on Ghana's urbanization in relations to our environment and then our social well-being as well.
Yeah, in Ghana, because I was following many countries, how they are following sustainable development. I should congratulate Ghana. Actually, they were in African countries, they are first countries to go to sustainable development or to follow the path of sustainable development. And I understand that the goals of sustainable development have been set up in Ghana, and some good example. So I congratulate Ghana for that. And there are 17 goals in sustainable development set up by United Nations. We don't want to explain all of them now, but there are also goals set up already in Ghana for sustainable development in 2030.
Great.
Yeah, this including reducing poverty, including education, health, increasing the way of, for example, pollution in the cities, water pollution, to take measure on those issues. Already there's a goal. Their goals, they're called SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, already set up in Ghana. And but they can be following good path on that. But I understand that there are a lot of problems, or we can say things which are actually little bit going back on these goals, how the government or the authorities have to follow this path of sustainable development, because the issue of population in Ghana, and I think you understand that the population of Ghana is increasing very fast. I think within the past 2 decades, the population have doubled. And this is one of the things that hinder or keeping, chasing the government authority going on sustainable, as well as to to take the issues of the increasing population. Increasing population because the birth rate is very high in Ghana. The other issue is, I think there's a lot of migration or coming people from the nearby countries for many reasons, for the economy of Ghana, the wealth of Ghana, as well as many reasons that people are coming to Ghana. And I think this is the population has risen so much during the past 1 or 2 decades, and this is causing some issues in sustainable development, especially on the cities and urbanization. You understand that urbanization can cause a lot of problems, including transportation, pollution, housing problem, poverty, health problems, sanitation problems. Therefore, how to track on sustainable development, why the government also has to deal with these issues of cities sprawling or urbanization in general. And people are coming from rural area to cities for many reasons, to get jobs, because of poverty conditions or no jobs in rural areas. So they're coming to cities, as well as those people coming from outside. All of them are coming to urban areas. And this is causing a lot of problems in terms of the meeting the goals of sustainable development.
Interesting. You mentioned about city sprawl. Before we come to that, do we have anything like smart growth, green economy? You made mention of that. What is it? Can you elaborate more on that smart growth and then green economy?
Thank you very much. This is very important. If we need for sustainable development and think about the future generation and the quality of life, we need to think a little bit about smart growth. Smart growth actually is the creation of cities in a good manner, in a good way, that people are living in different choices of housing, for example. Community are able to live different level or different segment of community. They can live. Those who are actually on high income, middle income, or lower income, they can incorporate in the city. That is, we are talking about smart growth. And also try to reduce using of cars, trying to reduce pollutions, having good sanitations. All this is smart growth. So when you create a city or area of growth, you should consider that everything should be on the neighborhood or nearby. For example, schools should be nearby to residential area. Health care, hospitals and health clinics should be nearby, so people can walk around and go to schools, taking the children to schools. Then you have a point or office, or you can say, a spot or area that you can have all kind of services, including government services and private sectors. For example, one building is accommodating all the services. Municipalities have, you need permit to get land commission should be there. You need Ministry of Environment, for example, environmental issue, you should permit risk assessment, you can get simplest. You need to open, for example, count the bank, you find banks in the same building. You need, for example, permit for or getting registration of a company or renewal of company, renewal of cars, whatever services, all of them you find the simplest. Some countries are calling one-stop office. Some countries, for example, many countries now is in post office. Previously, post office was people are sending letters here. Now, in the post office, you can do a lot of services, including insurance. You can have registration of your car, you can have a renewal of your car, you can have a permit of whatever you need, a permit of the electric municipality. Whatever management they do back to in relation to those offices is done in one spot. So for going there, I can finish all my services within half an hour, 1 hour, instead of traveling here and there and here. Maybe you'll be on the street all the day, you don't finish two things, while if you are in one place, you can finish all your things at once. So this is reducing, making easy life for people nearby, and at the same time, you're reducing use of cars, and therefore, automatically, you are reducing pollution, emission of carbon dioxide. You're reducing traffic, and so on. So cities should be designed to have this kind of choices. So smart growth is different. The meaning of smart growth between countries, but But what you mean here, you have the quality of life that everyone should live in the city with happiness, with good services, as well as whatever you need you can get it in nearby. So this is kind of smart growth that you don't have to travel long for one service and travel another side of city for another service. So you have one point, one area in the middle of city, for example, or in the community, they should have all services. So this is, you are reducing too much traveling, you're reducing pollution, and people are happy, their children are nearby school, health centers are nearby, and all services you can get nearby. In this case, the people will live in much better on family life and neighborhood life and environmentally, and you increase the green area in the city at the same time, and you create the way different mode of transportation on the smart growth. If you want to use car going somewhere, you have the freedom of using car. If you want to use local transportation like buses and local transportation, it's there, reaching in every community. If you want to go by bicycle, there are routes for bicycle. If you want to go walking, then you have good route for walking. But this has to be designed. Okay. For example, in Ghana, this kind of things, thinking about bicycle, walking, need to be questioned, raised in authority, because there's a lot of drains on the middle of the street and then on the edge of the street and the communities on the residential area. So this is preventing using bicycle, preventing walking, and so on. So this has to be redesigned a little bit to make a smarter growth, of make a smart cities.
Great, interesting. So Ghana has 16 regions, and then looking at what you just said, living a smart economy, do you think it's realistic, looking at where we find ourselves as a nation?
Yes, it can be done. Require some, as I told you, there are some goals now for 2030 in Ghana, I mean, which the Ghana can do whatever these goals are set, and I'm sure that authorities are working very hard, and there are a lot of activities going on in this issue. I read a lot of reports, and I saw a lot of activities going on. So this kind of sustainable, although there are some challenges, as I said, that population, cities growing cities, and urban areas becoming increasing so fast, the population and sprawling of cities, and all these issues government has to tackle one by one. But at the same time, I think it's possible by good management, and authorities and the community should help on these issues, as well as the private sector should work together with the government sectors and NGOs. I think it's possible to have some good achievement for 2030.
I see. You made mention of city sprawl. Do you see that especially in Ghana here?
Yes. I think this is one of the problems, as I say, that a lot of people coming from rural area to cities, as well as from nearby countries, maybe they come to Ghana for the opportunities of jobs, business, and a lot of opportunities may be available here in Ghana compared with rural area and other countries. And I think it's an issue here. Yeah, and cities actually on their boundaries are spreading. People are coming, they don't, because they come from rural areas, they are not able to accommodate themselves because of housing, expensive rent, expensive housing. They cannot purchase houses, they cannot build houses, and the space is not there. So you'll find people are spreading nearby on suburban area or on the edge of the cities. And this is, although it's not in the plan, but it has to accommodate those people. They are building maybe legally or illegally. Sometimes legally, but the authorities, they have no choice because the people are coming, and they have to be accommodated, these people. And the quality of this new settlement sometimes are much, much less compared with the city itself. Although sometimes we find markets, for example, the rural people, they create market, and eventually become a big market. So government, they cannot remove it. Eventually it's there. They have to recognize it. Sometimes illegally, and some people, they don't know. Maybe they're coming, they need to have housing, or to stay somewhere. So they try to create housing which are not safe. And they are sometimes on the flood area, for example, or muddy area. And this is actually becoming risk for their life during rainy season and so on. And this actually is an issue, and the government has to tackle this by creating a new economy in the rural areas, like developing agriculture in those rural areas. Try to make new economy in rural areas, so preventing people coming to cities. This will help a lot, because if there's no jobs in rural areas, no economy, therefore people they will come, then we cannot stop them. Okay, but if you create a sustainable agriculture, sustainable farming, sustainable fisheries, for example, in the rural, in far from cities, so people, they will stay there. And although you're creating this economy according to the area, whether it is agriculture, whether it's heritage, where is handicraft, where is fisheries, where is raising animals, and so on. You try to create economy according to that rural areas, and try to, government should take step in teaching or creating this economy is much cheaper compared with the cost of cities, or sprawling of cities and problem of cities. In this case, they have to create this economy. At the same time, they have to create a market for their products. So creating economy in rural areas without having open doors to market you cannot do anything. They cannot sell their product, is not good at all. So in this case, you have to create some of these jobs or economy in those rural areas, as well as you open market to companies, supermarket, to take their product. And the government should give an incentive. For example, any food chain, big food chain companies, of supermarkets or companies who are exporting outside, utilizing those rural areas should get some incentive. Any kind of incentive, maybe reducing tax, maybe whatever kind of incentives the government should give to this. So in this case, you are creating the the chain of taking their product. In this case, they will be happy to stay in their place. If you don't have this economy, therefore, you cannot stop people coming to the cities.
That means that with the rural-urban migration, the one-stop solution to it is that government should create more of city sprawls in the rural areas, the urban areas, so that people will not migrate to the cities.
Try to reduce that migration.
To reduce the migration.
Because people ending up, they cannot afford in staying in cities. What they end up of the edge of the cities, and this is creating a lot of unsustainable growth. Example, for example, land degradation, sanitary is very poor, water problems, pollution more, and so on, health problems. This is causing a lot of problems in the city and the government, how to tackle these issues. So making economy in the rural area is much safe compared with allow people coming to here, to the cities. And at the same time, since you have these problems, and therefore it's very difficult to control what is your the safe of the city in terms of pollution, in terms of the economy, and all these issues, housing problem, and everything will be a problem for the country.
Great, that's interesting. Do you have any final words, any other solution you think government should deploy to give Ghana a sustainable development where the future is for us, especially now you're talking about we having an agenda in 2030. What do you have to say to make this agenda in 2030 a reality?
I think education is very important.
Okay.
Education. I understand that the education of Ghana is very good, and one of the goals actually for sustainable development, and the government is doing great on that, going good in the terms of education, health also. If you have education and people understanding about sustainable development, that will be easy. But if people are unaware of what you are doing, therefore it will be very difficult. So people, they have to understand about the way they are living, in terms of the sanitation, in terms of the pollution, in terms of the population itself. How to reduce population, and teaching people in terms of birth control, and all these issues will help in stabilizing population, as well as I said, creating rural economy. Great. That will help a lot in terms of the city's problem will reduce very much.
Great, great. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful show. Do you have any social media handle where people can contact you in case they want your service, or they want you to advise them or give them consultation?
Yes, we'll have this in future. So,
okay. Great. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on Broad Daylight. I'm very grateful, folks. Today I was here in the studio. I'm here in the studio with Dr. Salim Environmental. He's a general manager for Origo Dream Company Limited here in Ghana, and he has spoken so much on how we can build a sustainable development here in Ghana. And one thing I remember him talking about is the fact that the government should create a smart economy where we can have a particular building that can have all the offices inside, so that you don't have to travel all the way to the various institutions to have your registrations or any other thing. And he also mentioned the fact that for us to reduce population, for people coming into Accra to make a living, it can make the conditions they have in rural areas more comfortable for them, building schools for them, proper roads, and making sure that anything that a particular community can produce for Ghana, we champion that particular place, reduce taxes for them. Example, maybe in the northern region, they produce shea butter and a whole lot. We can champion it there, make a factory there for them so that they can produce more, and then we can spend what we are producing as a nation Thank you so much for coming on Broad Daylight. I am very grateful to have you in my studios. We've learned a lot, and this show is proudly sponsored by Endpoint Homeopathy Clinic. Are you suffering from stroke, diabetes, infertility, and any chronic disease? Kindly contact Endpoint on 0244 867 068 0244 867 068. You can locate them in Accra, here, Spintex, Tema, Kumase, Tachiman, Takrade. And also my hair, it's kind Ketty. As you can see, I'm looking so beautiful today. Thank you so much, Crystal Beauty Salon, for this wonderful hairstyle. I'm so grateful. You can locate her at Pokwase Festus, behind the Festus Hotel, or call her on 0247 158 009 0247 158 009 or 0550 745 160 0550 745 160. Crystal Beauty Salon. Go there for all your hairstyles, natural or pony or permed, any hairstyle. She's there to make you look beautiful like I'm looking today. Thank you so much for being a wonderful part of this show. Kindly follow us on Facebook, CMJ TV, YouTube, CMJ TV, Instagram, CMJ TV, and Twitter at CMJ TV. Follow us on www.cmonline.com.gh, your authentic online news portal for all the authentic stories you can think of. Follow us on the CM Online Radio, your authentic online radio. And so another exciting episode of Broad Daylight with me, Priscilla Moore. Bye.